What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Canadian news. Because as an American, I never get to hear about Canadian news. So today, I'd like to take some time to learn about the current news and events happening in Canada that I otherwise would never get to hear about. So let's take a look, starting with Liberals suffer big defeat to Bloc Québécois in Montreal by-election. What? Okay, there's a lot of terms here that you don't typically hear in the United States. Let me see if I can understand this. Liberals, the Liberal Party in Canada, has suffered a defeat to the Bloc Québécois, which is the Quebec political party, the French Canadian political party, I believe, in the Montreal by-election. I'm not exactly sure what a by-election is, but we got some Canadian politics on our hands here. Oh, how juicy. You know what? Anything to give me an escape from the American politics going on right now. This is great. Let's think about Canadian politics for a sec here. This is a nice little change for me, given the state of America right now. Bloc Québécois wins a long-time Liberal seat and delivers a stunning blow to Trudeau in the Montreal by-election. So the Bloc Québécois political party won a seat from the Liberal Party, which is, so this is a big deal. You know, I don't exactly know how it works, but losing one seat doesn't sound like, to me, like it would be a huge deal, but this was a long-time Liberal seat, and now the Liberal Party has lost it, and, you know, the Prime Minister is decided by the majority party, right? So this has directly taken a seat away from the Liberal Party, so one seat closer to losing power, I suppose, losing majority. Is that why this is a big deal? There's a little video here. Okay.
We begin this Tuesday morning with breaking by-election news from overnight. Results from two critical races that may set the stage for the next federal election. And they're sure to shift the mood on Parliament Hill this morning. In Winnipeg, the NDP defends a party stronghold. But in Montreal, word just in this morning, a major upset for the Liberals. The Bloc Québécois has eked out a win in what was a long-time safe Liberal riding.
Okay, this is a big deal, I'm being told. This was a shock. This was an upset. The Bloc Québécois took a seat from the Liberal Party, and I don't know, is this like a sign of things to come, or I don't know. You can probably tell, like most Americans, I really don't understand a lot about Canadian politics or even how it all works, to be honest. But yeah, it's a seat that's been held by Liberals. It's the Trudeau's second by-election loss in a safe Liberal seat in the last 3 months, raising questions about his long-term viability as party leader. So that's why this is becoming significant. Elections for Prime Minister will eventually be coming up. And this is twice now in 3 months that seats that were thought to be safely Liberal seats have been upset and taken away. So, interesting. I do not know if this is a sign of things to come, or I don't know. Maybe things are getting shaken up in Canada in regards to politics. Obviously, we have the U.S. Presidential election coming up very, very, very soon. with two completely different candidates. So it's I don't know. I don't know what Canadians think about that, but there's my little American view on the Canada politics that I don't entirely understand. But that's okay. I try. Let's take a look at some more headlines here for this week. First teen has been sentenced in a connection with swarming death of a homeless Toronto man. A teenager killed a homeless man? 7 other teens between 13 and 16 were charged in connection with the death. 7 teenagers? Like kids. Killed a homeless man? God, man, this is disturbing. Sad. A teenage girl sentenced in the 2022 death of Toronto homeless man Kenneth Lee will not face more time in custody and is on probation. The girl pled guilty to manslaughter. What exactly did they do, is what I'm wondering. Her name cannot be shared under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. I guess they're too young to have their names shared. What did they do? Oh, here, the attack was vicious and cowardly. A homeless man, Lee, was 59, living in the shelter system, died after he was swarmed and stabbed by a group of girls. What? Am I getting this correct? This man was swarmed by a group of 7 girls, teenagers, and stabbed to death. And this girl is getting out on probation after doing that? Am I missing something here? This teenager did not deliver the fatal wound to the heart that killed Lee. Oh, okay. But she did join in on the group in physically assaulting him. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, maybe this is the American part of me coming out here. Maybe in American culture, we're a little, maybe we're, I don't even know what to say. Are we harsher on sentencing? Are we harsher around laws on killing people? I would have thought Canada would be pretty similar in that regard. How can you just join a group of people stabbing someone to death and then just get released on probation not 2 years later? Am I missing something here? I understand they're very, very young. Very young. But, when I was a teenager, I knew not to stab people to death. So that's kind of crazy to me. I think the punishments should probably be more severe for ending someone's life, even though they didn't deal the death blow. Am I missing something here? Feel free to share your thoughts. Maybe I'm being too critical here, but I don't like it when gangs of teenagers stab people to death. I don't like it one bit. That's something else right there. Wow. All right, let's keep going, man. Whew. What else do we have here? I wanna scroll down to maybe check out stories from this entire week. There was an unsolved sword attack, leaving Western Prince Edward Island unsettled a year later. What's going on here? A sword attack? A sword. Someone attacked with a sword. Is that what I am reading? This gentle island is not so gentle anymore. Huh? An unusual act of violence that pierced a calm September evening on a beach in Prince Edward Island. Someone went on a rampage with a sword in Prince Edward Island? September 1st, 1 year ago, man wielding a sword approached 3 people on a beach. He was wearing a surgical mask and a hoodie. He attacked 2 of the people with the sword. seriously injuring a 52-year-old woman. What's going on in Canada sometimes? I have to ask. I know I'm not one to talk. Like, here in America, like, there's murder and horror literally every single day in America. But, I don't know. In America, we don't hear about Canadian murder stories or crime or news for that matter. So I have to admit, it is extra shocking to me when I read these stories about crime and murder and sword attacks in Canada. It's shocking. Um, but, that isn't to say that we have worse crime in America. I'm pretty sure the data shows. Whew. What else do we have here? Any positive news? We gotta look for the positive news a little bit here. Um, Canada is relaxing some of its mortgage rules to tackle the housing crisis. The housing crisis. So, houses in Canada are really, really, really expensive. I believe that's the crisis. It's increasing the cap on insured mortgages, expanding 30-year loans to more buyers. So, they're trying to help out buyers in Canada afford homes, I think, or get mortgages, loans. So there's some changes announced to mortgage rules to make housing more affordable. Some housing experts are doubtful that these new measures will have any meaningful long-term impact. And they might even push prices up. Oh, geez. The federal government will increase the cap on insured mortgages to 1.5 million from 1 million. The cap on insured mortgages, allowing more people to buy a house with a down payment under 20%. That is the key, isn't it? America has first-time home buyer loans where you can put down less than 20% to buy your first home. Sounds like in Canada there is sort of a similar type of thing to help people out, especially in this day and age with prices being what they are. Okay, fair enough. Let's scroll down some more here. Unidentified pests are devastating the rice crops in Saskatchewan. That's not good news. Is there any good news here? Oh, hiker is in hospital after a bear attack in Alberta. That's not good news. I mean, I'm being a little facetious here, of course. Certainly in this day and age, when it comes to news, the news is typically about negative things. That's what gets the views, the clicks. It'd be nice to see some positive news. AI tools are cutting unexpected deaths in hospitals by 26%. That's good. AI. It might be the end of us all, or it might save us all. Here, it's being put to good use in hospitals in Canada. So they're using AI to cut down on unneeded deaths. A patient in Toronto was suffering from a cat bite and fever. Cat bites. An alert from an AI-based warning system showed that he was in fact sicker than they seemed. Really? So they use AI? Somehow this hospital uses AI to check like the patient's blood and determine things that humans weren't necessarily checking? That's pretty cool. Yeah. Like if you can hook me up to AI if I'm in the hospital and it's like a super smart person that's with you all the time, analyzing you effectively, that sounds great. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't, take over your brain as a byproduct. The AI. Okay. What else do we have here? Scrolling down a little bit. Ooh, The carbon taxes, addiction issues. No. No, what else? 3 people found dead in Lloydminster, where they were murdered. That's no good. My goodness. MPs have returned to Parliament under a shaky minority government and expected plays for power. This is more Canadian politics. Heading into the fall in the House of Commons. That's right, the House of Commons. Canada has a House of Commons. That's what it's called. Is there any news here? Trudeau will be leading an unstable minority government. Huh. This leaves the Liberal Party on shakier ground heading into the fall sitting because they can't rely on the NDP support. Yeah, that was a bigger kind of thing. A few weeks ago we read about this. The NDP party had a deal with the Liberal Party, but is that just thrown out the window now? Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says his party will put forward a non-confidence motion at the earliest opportunity to trigger a federal election. That's what I've heard about, where Canada could have an election pretty soon or not till next year, based on how this goes, I guess. Man, Canada's in a very, very similar situation to the United States right now, huh? Where you're kind of wondering what direction the country is going to go, really, because you have two people, Trudeau and Pierre Poilievre, pretty different, and it's going to go one way or another, much like here in America. So very uncertain times we're living in. Should be interesting. If nothing else, no lack of interest going on, of excitement. Air Canada work stoppage has been averted after a deal with pilots. Yeah! Air Canada was going on strike, right? So they worked out a tentative deal. 100,000 travelers could have been impacted. Yeah, this is really big, right? Air Canada was going to go on strike. You can breathe a sigh of relief as they've reached a tentative agreement with the union. Okay. So I don't know how long this agreement is going to last, but for now, the strike has been averted on the Air Canada. Okay. What else do we have here? Shot putter Sarah Minton won a Diamond League trophy after Olympic heartbreak. Nice. Canadian shot putter. Let's keep scrolling down. Anything else here? Are playgrounds too safe? Anthropologists say kids need to monkey around. Are playgrounds too safe? Kids need to monkey around. That's the science. Yeah, I mean, kids do need to, have an outlet to play and stuff, but that's in the news. Canadian Army says their new military sleeping bags are not suitable for the typical Canadian winter. That's Canadian winter for you. I wonder if we should have just gone to Canadian Tire. What? No, the Canadian Army sleeping bags aren't good. They spent $34 million on sleeping bags. And they're not good? Oh, it's lack of warmth with the new sleeping bags, says soldiers. Oh, no. That's bad. That's bad. You hate to hear your tax dollars being spent on useless sleeping bags. Calgary mayor says water restrictions could be lifted in 10 days. Does Calgary have water restrictions? Like no running water? Or the repair work on Calgary's critical water main is gonna be complete by the weekend. Oh my gosh. Has Calgary been without water? It's 1/5 of the city's water infrastructure has been down. No way. Oh my gosh. I'll scroll down here. U.S. Border Patrol reports a record number of encounters with migrants at the Canadian border. Oh, this affects me. This is the U.S. It's me. The U.S. border, in America, we talk about our border and illegal immigration, but we're talking about our southern border. We never talk about our northern border with Canada, really. Smugglers are taking advantage of lax Canadian screening. Smugglers are getting into the United States from Canada? Is this right? But they got to go through the US as well, like the US Border Patrol too, not just Canada, right? US Customs and Border says it's recorded a record high number of encounters with migrants this year. Wow. See, this is interesting. Migrants. That's a little like, who are these people? This is a little vague. But this is not something that we talk about in the United States. The northern border being an issue. Nobody thinks the northern border is an issue that I've heard of. Interesting. Interesting. Anything else? Scrolling all the way down here to the beginning of the week. Gun control groups. There's a government buyback program for guns in Canada. NFL is starting. Okay, do Canadians out there care about the NFL, American football starting? A lot of Americans care. Oh, the victim of the Saskatoon fire attack has hopes for recovery. Yeah, oh my gosh. Last week we learned about that girl who was set on fire at a Saskatoon high school. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. I guess that's about it. Okay. Yes. Yeah, Air Canada was avoided. Okay. That's pretty good. I feel pretty up to date on the Canadian news for this week. That's pretty interesting. A lot of big political news happening in Canada. There were some disturbing stories here as well, which was unfortunate, but I am glad to be more up to date on the Canadian news. I enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of this Canadian news or any Canadian news I may have missed that I should know about. That'd be great. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and learning about Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.